Hello there. Happy Easter. Um, I guess, I've always been a pack rat, and it's a great way to be, really, because, well, you don't throw away treasures. I've been digging for treasures for a while now, ever since I finished my last project. And like I said last week, I'm taking a reprieve from it. So I've been finding some treasures from years past in my writing career. So I thought I would share one of them with you this evening. It's related to this book. Hairs on Bear. Well, it's related to two books actually. What am I saying? It's related to two books. Hairs on Bears, children's book, which it's also translated in French, Papa et Rapa, and Jeremy Jekyll Sade's Freckles. So these, what I have here is, I was doing a school tour back in 1999. I was doing a provincial school tour for Education Week. So one of the schools I was presenting, and I was teaching workshops as well to the children. Along with presenting my books, I was teaching workshops and telling them all about how books are produced, how the specific books were produced, and etc. Illustrations and the writing of the book, etc., etc. So actually, I presented those two I just showed you, as well as my Malcolm series in this particular presentation. Oh, here we go. There was two of them out at the time, two of my Malcolm books. So I was doing a number of different presentations to different grades. So I would do the Malcolm books to, say, grade 2 to 5, and then I would maybe the next morning I would do the for the lower primary grades I would do Jeremy Jekyll Sade's Freckles and Hairs on Bears. So anyway, among all the cards, etc., that was given to me after the tour was over, was this book that the children made for me and presented to me on the last day when I was leaving their school. So I found it the other day among my souvenirs, or among my voluminous storage of souvenirs anyway. And I don't know, it was just so sweet that I mean, even though it's a long time ago, it's just as fresh today as it was then, and children are just as delightful as they were then, So I have to say that I did a lot of school visits, and since I started my writing career over 20 years ago, and I have yet to have a negative experience with reading to children or visiting children in schools, and that is the truth. I have yet to have a negative experience. It was always a wonderful, wonderful experience. So I'm going to read and show you the pages from this book. Reaction to Hairs on Bears and Jeremy Jekyll Sade's Freckles by Mrs. Callahan's Grade 1 class, Education Week, St. Peter's Primary School, 1999. So this is how the kids reacted to it. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Sade's Freckles because I like the book. Jeremy Jekyll's lost his freckles. Love, Ryan. Dear Mrs. Lush, I like Hairs on Bears because it's funny. And he did a drawing of the wiener dog in the story. It was nice. Love, Adam. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Hairs on Bears because I love your writing. Very, very much. Randy Evans. These little boys are men now. So I guess maybe they could even see this, and I hope some of them do, and how much they delighted me with their little notations, little notes and drawings. Some of them are quite talented as well. They're all talented. Every one of them are talented and very honest in their opinions. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Tate's Freckles because it got lots of graphics. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I love your stories. You write beautiful books. Well, thank you very much. I know I thanked you, how many years ago was that? 1999. But if you happen to see this, I thank you again. And I'm sure you're probably writing books yourself. Who knows? I like Cares on Bears because it has a funny wiener dog. I love your books. I love you. Love, Amanda Hillier. And she drew the moon and a star, the sun and the clouds. The moon, the stars, the sun and the clouds. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Tate's Freckles because he loses his freckles. He gets famous by his freckles. He buys all kinds of creams when his sister made fun of him and called him Freckle Face, when she called him Raisin Face, and I just like it. Love, Lindsay Collins. And she draws the dog in the story. I think she's very talented, actually. Okay. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Cares on Bears very much because it is very funny. Thank you very much. Love, Jessie Noseworthy. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Cares on Bears because the pictures are good and the story is good. Love, Eric Hines. And he's drawing the wiener dog there with the trees. He's running through the trees. Very nice. A wiener dog in the story. He's a big dog that sheds a lot. And they have a problem with him because he's always shedding. And they're going to, let's just say, not keep him anymore. But it's quite an adventure story for sure. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Tate's Freckles because he's funny. And he's drawing one of the scenes from the book here that he's drawing. Oh, that's a girl. Alicia Squires, little girl. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Cares on Bears because it is very funny. I like Jeremy Jekyll Tate's Freckles. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Tate's Freckles because how did Jeremy get freckles? Well, I guess he was born with them, wasn't he? So, anyway, he's drawing the boy and the dog here. Love, Caitlin Malloy. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Cares on Bears because I like rhyming books and the pictures are really good. Love, Dorita Brace. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Tate's Freckles because I love it. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like your Jeremy Jekyll Tate's Freckles because it's funny. I mean, it's really funny. Welcome. Hillary Rose, I think, was that one. I like Cares on Bears because it is good. Danny Fitzgerald. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Cares on Bears because I cuddle in the hairs and it makes me warm. Snore, snore. cute. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Hates Freckles because I like. Okay. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Here's on Beers because it's funny. Love, Melissa Pearson. And she's a little talented little artist as well, right there, where she draws it. She's holding the book Here's on Beers in her hand. Nice. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I love Jeremy Jekyll Hates Freckles because I like the words in the book and I love the whole book, but I love you better. Love, Robin Voisey. This is, she did a good job of that. See? Jeremy Jekyll Hates Freckles. And Jeremy in the story hates his freckles. That's a really good rendition, I have to say. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Hates Freckles because how did Jeremy get freckles? Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Hates Freckles because I like the pictures. Chisley Coombs. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Hates Freckles because I like the book. Okay, love Chris Duke. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Here's on Beers and Jeremy Jekyll Hates Freckles because I like the pictures. You did a beautiful job. Krista Stanford. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Hates Freckles because it's funny, because people call him names. I like it when he loses his freckles. Love, Michael Crook. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Jeremy Jekyll Hates Freckles because I like the colours and I like the pictures. Love, Amy O'Driscoll. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Here's on Beers because it is funny and the pictures are nice. I like your rhyming stories. And the pictures are nice. I like your rhyming books. She does a dog there as well in Here's on Beers. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Here's on Beers because it is funny and I like the whole book. Robin Voisey. Here's on Beers. Dear Mrs. Ryan Lush, I like Here's on Beers because the hairs come off the dog. Yes, they certainly do. They certainly come off the dog in the end for sure, and they certainly learn all about how to keep them from getting out of hand, you know, how to care for your dog. So these are just some wonderful memories of years gone by, and you know, I like to look back sometimes, and it's really nice. And like I said, I've had a lot of wonderful experiences in the schools. These are some of my rest of my books, or some of them anyway. This is Miss Ligley's Clutter, which I guess you could say she's a little bit like me in a way, because I can't throw anything away. Maybe that's why I wrote the book. This is Goodbye Wart, that won a Candy Book Award last year. Mumps Mania, which was written really with the spectre of the virus, or the reality of the virus in our midst. That was written last year and won a Candy Book Award. 2 editions of the Gravel Pit Kids, which these are recent, young adult book that won a Candy Book Award. This is the new edition of that book. This is my poetry book, my first collection of adult poetry, and I have just finished a new collection of a second. I have just finished a new second collection of adult poetry. So I'm very, I should say the first draft. It's not finished; it's the first draft, but it's at least the first draft is done. So the rest will be, it'll be work, but it'll be much more enjoyable. And some more of them. Hannigan's Hand. This is the fiction ghost novel, based on a true story that happened in my childhood. Hannigan's Hand. This is a collection of ghost stories, true ghost stories of Newfoundland and Labrador, Volume 1, which are bestsellers since it was written. This is the second collection of true ghost stories, which are also bestsellers. They're all brand new stories, different than this one. This one and this one are two separate collections, so they're all different stories. And there are more. I have written 18 books altogether in all genres and categories, so there are more, but like I said, I don't have copies of all of them right at the moment. Anyway, I hope you enjoy my little trip down memory lane this evening, and I think it really speaks well for the children, and they're delightful, and I wish them every joyful thing in life, and a great happy Easter. So I hope the Easter bunny is good, and I hope you have lots of fun with your families, and I hope when you go back to school, everything is just wonderful for you. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed my visit this evening. Happy Easter.